I never believed in ghosts or urban legends until I encountered the White Lady of Balete Drive. Growing up in Quezon City, tales of the White Lady haunted my childhood. Friends would share chilling stories of late-night encounters with a ghostly woman in white, her face obscured by long, dark hair. They claimed she would appear in the rearview mirror, silently pleading for help before vanishing into thin air. One humid night, curiosity got the better of me. After a night out with friends, I decided to drive down Balete Drive alone, hoping to debunk the legend once and for all. The street was eerily quiet, flanked by ancient trees that cast long, menacing shadows under the dim streetlights. As I drove, a sense of unease crept over me. My headlights barely penetrated the darkness, and the usual sounds of the city were strangely absent. My grip tightened on the steering wheel as I scanned the road ahead. Suddenly, my car's engine sputtered and died, leaving me stranded in the middle of the infamous street. Panic set in as I tried to restart the engine, but it refused to turn over. The silence was deafening, and I felt a chill run down my spine. Then I saw her, a figure in white standing by the side of the road, her head bowed. My heart pounded as I stared, unable to look away. She slowly lifted her head, and I caught a glimpse of her eyes, empty, hollow, and filled with sorrow. In a state of panic, I locked my doors and frantically tried to restart the car. The White Lady began to move towards me, her steps slow and deliberate. The temperature inside the car plummeted, and my breath fogged the windshield. I could hear her faint whispers, a mournful plea for help. Just as she reached my window, the engine roared to life. I floored the accelerator and sped away, glancing in the rearview mirror. She was gone, as if she had never been there. My mind raced with questions, but one thing was clear. I had come face to face with the White Lady of Balete Drive. Back in the safety of my home, I tried to put the experience behind me, but the memory of her hollow eyes haunted my thoughts. My friends scoffed when I told them, claiming I had just been spooked by an old ghost story. But I knew what I saw, and the chilling encounter stayed with me. A few weeks later, I found myself unable to sleep. The same oppressive feeling from that night on Balete Drive seemed to envelop my room. I decided to do some research, hoping to find answers. I scoured the internet for stories and records about the White Lady, trying to piece together her tragic tale. I discovered that many people had reported similar encounters, all describing the same sorrowful figure in white. There were theories that she was the spirit of a woman who had died in a car accident on that very road. Some stories claimed she was searching for her lost child, while others suggested she sought revenge on careless drivers. Determined to uncover the truth, I visited the local library and combed through old newspapers and archives. There, I found a faded article from the 1950s about a young woman named Maria. She had been involved in a fatal crash on Balete Drive while searching for her missing daughter. The car had veered off the road, and Maria had died instantly. Her daughter's body was never found. The connection was undeniable. Maria's restless spirit must have been the White Lady I encountered. With this newfound knowledge, I felt a strange sense of obligation to help her find peace. I reached out to a local paranormal investigator, hoping to conduct a seance at the site of the crash. On a moonlit night, the investigator, a few friends, and I returned to Balete Drive. We set up candles and a makeshift altar near the spot where Maria's car had gone off the road. The air was thick with anticipation as the investigator began to chant, calling out to Maria's spirit. First, nothing happened, but as the night wore on, the temperature dropped and a dense fog rolled in. Suddenly, the candles flickered and a cold breeze brushed past us. The investigator's voice grew stronger, more insistent, and we heard a faint, mournful wail. From the shadows, Maria's figure emerged, her eyes filled with the same sorrow I had seen before. She seemed to recognize us, her gaze softening as if pleading for help. The investigator urged her to move on, to find her daughter and be at peace. For a moment, time stood still. Then, with a final, haunting whisper, Maria vanished, and the oppressive feeling lifted. The air grew warm again, and we knew she had found some semblance of peace. I left Balete Drive that night with a heavy heart, but also a sense of closure. Maria's spirit had been laid to rest, and the legend of the White Lady had a new chapter. Although the memory of that night still lingers, I no longer fear the shadows. Instead, I remember the sorrowful spirit of a mother searching for her lost child, finally finding the peace she so desperately sought.